So every year for the past, I'm going to say 5 years now, we've had the really fun time of casting and actually working on the William Mattar commercials in the area. And it's just such a blast because a lot of people in Buffalo, Rochester, some in New York, like the William Mattar standard for commercials is just absolutely incredible. And we'll get conversations all the time. Oh, you worked on that? You shot those? You've done this?
Well, he's gotten a reputation now with his commercials, like as a, character, and his commercial is his branding now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we just wrapped his entire, I say it's his season
campaign,
of commercial
right?
campaign, where we just shot for a week. But we've been happy to help doing that for many, many years now. And it was about 3 years ago at this point. Myself, Peter,
I was in it. Yeah,
Peter,
I was in one.
and then my wife Casey got a chance to be in one commercial together.
Right.
And then Harry got to be in one the next year after
separately.
that.
Yeah.
But the one we did was a piece. I think it was a few years ago, and it was one of their Super Bowl spots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
And it was I Got to Take This, where he takes the phone call and during everything. And for the one portion, they were talking about, hey, we need softball players for this section of the commercial. And I know our one producer, Trish, was just like, hey, I know you guys play softball. You guys play softball. You want to do this? And it had to do where we had to set up a camera literally next to where the pitcher was and have a batter hit the ball, not at the camera, but past the camera.
Yeah.
And they were talking about casting it. And I was just like,
you're like,
nah.
So here's the thing is that I remember being on set that day, and what I thought was pretty dope was Kyle's like, which way do you want the ball to go? I'm not that good, right? I'm just like, if I hit it, I'm good enough, right? I don't care which direction. Kyle's like, all right, that way, everybody back. He says, hold my beer.
He's like Babe Ruth, who would point the bat to where
exactly.
Well, it's so funny. So it's I just didn't. One, I'm like, I'll trust myself. I don't want to hit a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had Casey pitching to me, but we had Bill in right field, and in the scene he's supposed to not catch it, but they had the camera behind home plate, behind the fence. And they're getting a wide shot of it. So they're like, okay, well, I fully swing in this and go for it. So I did it, and I'm like, okay, Bill, I'm going to hit it to you. I just don't want you to try to catch it because, if you get hurt, you're the lawyer.
It'll hit you in the face, right?
So I'll do it. And twice in a row, he tried to catch the ball. And I was just, nervous the whole entire time. So finally, the last time up at bat, they're like, we need one more. I just, hit it over his head and out of the park, and I'm just there. You can't do it now. Right. But every single year it's been fantastic. And part of this entire episode that we're jumping into is kind of highlighting what's coming up at the Casting Buffalo's Actors Expo. And we are graciously welcoming William Mattar Law Offices as one of our sponsors for one of our events.
That's right. Give it up for Bill.
Awesome.
That's right.
Good score.
Bill.
So yeah, it's been a great score. But yeah, I just wanted to tell a little quick story before we dive into our Expo episode.
Absolutely, because he is one of our big sponsors of our primary speaker that we have at the Expo. We got a lot of great stuff. I'm so excited to kind of talk about the 2025 Casting Buffalo Actors Expo, which I feel will probably be the biggest one yet. I just have a feeling Kyle, we're going to go over the schedule. We have some great speakers. We're offering some different stuff this year, right? Mm-hmm. We're actually catering to not just actors, but also to our crew base. Yep. As casting directors, we notice the influx of film and work that's coming. But outside of actors, they need crew, right? We need people to work on these movies. And what better way than to keep the work right here in Buffalo than to offer certifications right at the Actors Expo?
That's awesome, because there hasn't been something like that for crew out here. I mean, in general, there's not a unified force for that. There's, the union, and there's groups, and there's, people that have their cliques and whatnot. But this is a place where everyone can get together, and I'm so glad that you created that.
I think an integral thing to mention is the fact that, as casting directors, we're focused on helping to get work for actors, right? It's not, you don't think so much about us getting any work for crew because that's not what our focus is. But the reality is, if we don't have crew, we don't have movies, just in the sense that if we don't have actors, we won't have movies either. So we've recognized the importance of what we do, but we also need that other side to be bolstered too. You know what I mean? Our efforts of bolstering the talent scene, it can't just be that. It has to be twofold. Right?
Yeah, it's going to be hand in hand. And I think what's super important for us kind of taking this focus of like cast, crew, and careers for the expo is that like in order to get jobs, it's always about networking.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to look at what the expo is basically a giant networking fair that you either as an actor, you're meeting local filmmakers, local directors, local cinematographers, or if you're a crew member, you're finding actors that can be in your movies that you're gonna shoot on the weekends or shoot during. And our biggest thing that we always say is for actors, for crew, you have to get on the set.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to get
visible.
on set.
You gotta be visible.
And why not network at this place and learn the little skills from, knowing the vendors in the areas that'll help elevate, taking some of the seminars, listen to some of the panelists that'll help just elevate what you want to do and figure out if you don't know what to do, maybe this will help guide you where you want to, or if you're looking for a career change or just try to find a way to get on set, and this is this stepping stone for you to find a way to do it.
Yeah. I was talking with Jordan earlier, and we were talking about a specific actor that's, they're kind of working their way around Buffalo. And I said, I think the beauty that I see in this actor's journey is that they are figuring out different things that they're interested in. So, some people come into this business and they say, okay, well, I want to be an actor. Well, after a few times of doing it, maybe they don't have the passion, and it's like, well, maybe I want to do something else. But that's still affiliated in the film business. And coming to events like the Actors Expo, which now we're branching off, for crew members, it helps people figure out their path.
Correct.
You know what I mean? If acting isn't it, what else are you interested in? There's a lot of different, and Kyle, you mentioned, it's about careers now.
Yes.
We're trying to create careers in this industry, and that's the purpose of the expo.
I think another thing worth mentioning too is the industry we are in is not an easy industry to get started in. It's not an easy one to even keep and maintain work in.
Yeah.
It's a specialized field. It's a niche specialty area, and it's just not easy to get your foot in the door. Like, it's not so outwardly easy to do that. No. So this is something where the value in the connections that you could get out of something like our event, there's millions of things that could come out of this for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make all sorts of connections.
Also, if you are an actor who's been around for a long time, but maybe you kept your foot out of the door for a second, it's a great way to get back in and reintroduce yourself to the community because everyone's there.
Well, one of the things is that when we really came up with the inception of this event, we all sat together and we said that there's not an event like this on the entire East Coast. No. The fact that it's being birthed right here in Buffalo with our company says a lot. Not only should it be people from this region that is looking to get to it, but we have people that travel in, as well, because everyone's looking to learn. And this is a expo, but a convention and an event that's not offered like this anywhere else in the country other than Buffalo.
There's always this age-old question of like, and all of us actually did this. We all went to film school, right? But there's a lot of questions of like, oh, if you're trying to get into it, you're going. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to college to go into film? And all my words of wisdom, even though I've been a professor at multiple schools, is like the way you keep doing it and getting into this industry is meeting people like you and networking and constantly shooting things. And here's a little step. You know what I mean? Like you might meet people here. Absolutely. You might find your crew. You might just find your actors.
Do you want to hear some success stories?
Yes.
Well, at Lemur Studios, we did an incredible open casting call
Yes,
for the
you did.
Buffalo
That was
40-hour
amazing,
film
actually.
project. And I have qualitative and quantitative data for you here, because we just did it again, unfortunately without you because of the way the dates are lined up. And at your event, we had 70 people audition for our open casting call, and then without you, we had 13. So great success at being at the Actors Expo.
We got to collaborate again next year. Just unfortunately,
it's a timing thing. It's a timing thing.
You're right. The dates didn't coincide, but the fact that like the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
That you had 70 people audition at the Actors Expo that came out this year. Without that, it dropped off, and we hoping to have that again. You know what I mean? Because it says a lot.
Well, we can't get rid of Jordan because Jordan is our host this year.
I am the host.
No, Jordan, you've been such a key part over this last year to just not only Western New York, but I think just our success also as Casting Buffalo with you, what you've been able to offer through Lemur Studios and through this podcast, and just your history of just being a major player and industry leader locally in film and TV and commercial and everything. So
I appreciate that
we're
very
happy
much.
to have you and happy to, push you up on that pedestal and say good luck.
Well, I appreciate that. I just keep putting myself out there, and bigger and better things keep happening. To conclude about this success story, the great Tabitha Raythel got a job with me because of that audition. She was one of the first people to audition, and we saw her at some of the other events, and she's worked here for a year now. So you can network and find jobs at the Actors Expo, and that is actual proof.
So speaking of success stories, I do have another story that I want to talk to that hopefully inspires, some actors that are out here. We have a guest, a special guest that's going to join us today. And I just found this out. I kind of called her late last night, and I asked her to do this favor only because she has a story to tell, and I kind of it coincides to everything that we're talking about, how actors should be prepared and giving good auditions. So I do want to welcome our first female guest, right? Our first female guest of the podcast here. Everyone, let's welcome Roselyn Kasmire.
Woo!
That's what I'm talking about. Can we cut there? For all of your insurance needs, make sure you contact Craig Willoughby over at Willoughby Insurance, 716-885-8100. Make sure you ask for Craig and tell him Casting Buffalo sent you for special rates. My boy Willoughby will when nobody will.
Look, if you work in film, you know how brutal the hours can be. Long days, unpredictable schedules. There's barely enough time to eat healthy for yourself, let alone work out before or after set. Staying in shape almost feels impossible. That's exactly why Ascend Fitness remote coaching exists. Whether you're on set or just juggling a busy life, this isn't a generic program. It's 100% customized to you, your schedule, your goals, your equipment, and even how you feel day to day. You'll get a fully personalized plan, expert coaching, and real accountability so you always know exactly what to do, no matter how crazy life gets. And right now, they're offering an exclusive deal. Sign up for 1 month and get the second month free, but only for the first 10 people. Spots will go fast. Go to trainascend.com and book your free coaching call before they're gone.
Looking for an unforgettable dining experience in Buffalo? Head to Daniela Restaurant, where every bite feels like home. Whether you're craving classic Italian favorites or exploring something new, Daniela's menu has something for everyone, from handcrafted pastas made with love and the finest ingredients. And it's not just about the food. Daniela's warm, welcoming atmosphere is perfect for a date night, family dinner, or special celebration. Plus, with a carefully curated wine list, the perfect pairing is just a sip away. So why wait? Head over to Daniela today. Come for the food. Stay for the experience.
Do you love horror movies? Here on Getting Scarried Away, we sit down to talk about what we love about the genre, shout out fellow horror creators, and spill buckets of useless horror knowledge for your next trivia night. Join me, Ricky Needham, and my co-host, Rhiannon Needham, as we dive headfirst into your favorite horror movies. Subscribe today anywhere you get your podcasts.
So, Roselyn, thank you for joining us today on Podcasting Buffalo. And I wanted to kind of talk to you about your experience. You were recently cast in the movie that we are currently casting. It's a feature that's shooting in Buffalo called Little Audrey. And it's directed by Michael Mailer, who we have worked with a few times. And I kind of just want to hear your story about how you recently got cast.
Well, I am on Actors Access, and I saw the casting looking for local talent. And it was for Little Audrey, and it was Donald Pemrick was the casting agency. So I submitted my information and my headshots, resume, and then they said, okay, and then they said audition for Ruth. So I auditioned for Ruth, but I didn't get it. But I did work on my Massachusetts accents. But like I parked my car in the Harvey Yard. That's wicked awesome. So I did use that in the audition because it was a Worcester accent. And they were like, well, we liked you, but not for Ruth, but can you play one of the pilgrims? So I said, of course, 100%. So I'm all in.
Right.
And that's how it happened. Actors Access.
So
Local Buffalo.
I think what I wanted to really get into about her story, and I think a lot of actors can learn from, is that sometimes I get hit up by actors and they may fit the profile of like 4 or 5 different characters. Yeah. And as actors, we get in this mode of like, oh, I want to audition for all 4 or 5 characters. And the problem with that is, again, there's nothing wrong with, an actor wanting to audition, especially if you see yourself in there. But sometimes when we do that, we audition for multiple roles, but we fail to make different choices with the characters, right? So like now it's just you reading for different parts and you're not making any real distinct choices. And in this case, what I thought was really great was that Roselyn did a great audition that Michael Mailer remembered. Right? Yes. That he saw, that he thought was a really good audition. And because of that, he said, okay, I like her look and she can act. I can use her somewhere else. And that's been something that I've experienced several times in my career. And I think should be motivational for actors because, you come in and, sometimes we'll audition for things. We don't hear back. But that doesn't mean you weren't seen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you weren't remembered, right? So in this particular case, Roselyn got cast in something that she didn't even audition for, which I thought was amazing. Because of her initial audition, she came in with the Massachusetts accent. It was a great audition. And now that director, because he saw her skill set, he saw her level and said, no, I'm going to put her somewhere else. And I think that that's just a great story for actors to actually, to model their careers by. You don't have to audition for everything, especially if you're not going to make the bold choices. I had another actress ask me yesterday, well, there's other 3, which one should I do? And I said, you should do the one that's going to give you the most range.
Yeah.
Yes.
You really shouldn't be auditioning for 4 or 5 parts. I think unless you are an actor who's a veteran actor who can say they are a chameleon actor and have really built a reputation up. I'm talking about like A-listers we know of. Those are people who can audition for 4 or 5 different parts. You know what I mean?
Because but they wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But they could do that.
And that's the takeaway is like your repetition isn't always the best when it comes to it. Because you should find the role that speaks to you the most, the one that you can give the most range, the one that you can see yourself making a bold choice on. And throw that one into the pot.
That's the one you do.
That's the one you do.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. Do you want one great audition or do you want 4 mediocre auditions? And now, here's the difference. You do one great audition, director sees it and goes, I can see you, maybe not in this role, but we have this and we could put you here. Or, interesting, I never thought of that role that way. But the way that you did it, I think you're right for it. Maybe I'll rewrite, do a few rewrites, or now you are that role. Or you do the mediocre and 4 of them, and now they go, first one pops up, and you go, oof, okay, next. Mm-hmm. Goes to the next role, you pop up again, and you go, oh, okay. And then the third one comes up, and them again.
Here-
You know what I
here's the
mean?
thing.
Like it's
Absolutely.
No, and I agree with you because I know when I auditioned in the past, I have done like multiple roles, and now I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do exactly like you just said. Pick one that really, that I'm like, wow, I
Resonates,
can
right?
resonate with this character. I'm gonna do that and do the best that I can instead of just doing just a whole bunch of different ones. And that's exactly what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah, and with every single audition,
And that's what I
too,
did.
and it worked out,
Yeah.
right?
Ah.
You know what I mean? And when you do that, it's like you gotta kind of create your own world within that. And if you focus on that for your role, you're gonna keep going. I have a upcoming casting that I'm actually directing a commercial for, and I didn't give much to like
I know, I
what
saw.
needs to do, what needs to happen, but I did that on purpose because like I'm giving you the setting, you're getting the sides. I want the actors to present what they are into that role, because I can give you some direction, great, you know what I mean? But I want to see what you can deliver as yourself
Your choices.
in your choice.
Absolutely.
And the people who are going to go very wooden and just literally just read the words at screen, great. You know, they might have a good read, but like that's probably not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that comes in and makes me want to change my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you also hit on something that was like really pivotal, Kyle, is that sometimes oversaturation can
Yes.
be too much, right? And that's what actors think. They say, okay, well, I'm going to audition for 5 parts and, I'm going to shoot my shot at all of them, right? But you're oversaturating yourself because, as you mentioned, we can put you in those folders, for that director to review. But if your first 2 auditions aren't good, he's probably not going to watch the third one. You know what I mean?
And I could give you another, I think, real world example of that in another industry, and that would be in marketing and advertising. You see all the time companies make the mistake of pushing advertisements too extreme, too frequent, and what happens is people actually develop almost a blindness to it. They're not even looking at it anymore. So all of that time is just energy wasted. You know what I mean?
Right. God forbid, you're paying for people to do the self-tapes. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that this was a great lesson. And again, Roselyn, thank you for coming in,
Of course,
and sharing your
anytime.
story. Once I found out that she was cast and she didn't audition for that role, I think it was just very pivotal to tell your story today to encourage other actors, right? Like, for one, there's some actors that tell me, I don't like auditioning, or I don't want to audition for the big role. I'm going to audition for the small one. The bigger one is going to show you more range, right? Yeah. That's gonna show the director what you're capable of.
Or
versus,
if it's a small role, but it eats chews scenery, like Bill Fichtner talked about last time, like maybe that's the one,
right?
The one that identifies. It's a huge deal. I did want to talk real quick and say, like, Ro, you've had an amazing journey in Buffalo as an actress. Like, we were just talking about, we have the Marshall poster behind Peter.
Yeah, that was my fame. That was my fame.
And she was cast in that in a spicy role, I guess.
The Lady of the Night.
Yeah, for the 1940s. From there, we're talking.
You've been working.
Yeah, and recently you are now a SAG actor.
Recent new SAG.
Yes, in the building, but it's a huge accomplishment. What do you have to say to a lot of, because I think that we've all been on this journey, and what's interesting is that we've kind of all been on this journey together.
Oh yeah,
right. Like
absolutely.
We've been going in separate paths. We've known her for is really from the start of Buffalo filmmaking. You know what I mean? Major movies
10 years.
coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 10 years.
Over 10.
What would you say to inspire a lot of the actresses that are just starting out?
Don't what's the phrase I want to say? When it comes to doing background, don't put your nose up to it, because I think it's a great way to see what everybody does on set. First of all, you see what the crew does, you see the crafty, you just see how it all comes together. So I feel like background actually can get your foot in the door and see if you even like it, because it's long hours. It's not easy, and you're sitting there and you're waiting, but you get to see all the working parts behind the scene. Like I just remember, and I was a featured background in Marshall, but I remember watching Chadwick just sitting there going over his lines, you know, just figuring it out in his head. And it was just interesting to see his different takes, and that just being able to watch him is something that I will always take in, because he was an amazing actor. And I'm going to start crying because too soon, but he was just seeing that and seeing the, you know, professional actors that have been doing it and how their process works, and just watching is a really great opportunity.
You're putting yourself in that environment to evolve.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you can work on your craft. I mean, I've done a lot of indie films. I've done the 48s. I mean, just getting your feet wet is so important, and getting to and networking and meeting people. So doing that stuff, background, indie films, networking.
You did stand-in work too, right?
Stand-in, anything I could do. I love doing it. I love being on set. It's just
I think there's
even
an
child wrangler. Like I enjoy doing it.
Well,
I'm
I
a
think
teacher.
it's an attitude, right? And I think Ro has the right attitude that you come into it. Is just like, if you want it.
Yeah, you got to be as immersive as you can with these opportunities. And I think the other thing is, like, you have to think about how you take it all in, right? You're immersed in it. And it's just, you got to capitalize on it. It's about capitalizing on it, right? That's what it comes
to. Being ready when the moment happens, right? I think that's what the last time we were talking to William Fickner, it's, you know, preparing today for tomorrow's success. You've been someone that's been putting in the work, you know, over the years. I think I think
I've taken every every teacher's class in Buffalo. I've done it all. So I went to all different ones, because everyone teaches differently. So it was great. And I always say, you know, experience, take different classes, take different teachers, because everyone teaches different.
Yeah,
and
I've
done them all.
We ended up giving you, like, you got Best Actress for the 48-hour film festival last year that I was a judge in. So I think that what's been great is to see your journey, to see your progression, to see how far you've come from not only doing independent stuff, background stuff, stand-in stuff, to now just even auditioning and getting parts handed to you because you're good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I do love when I see, like, my fellow actresses and actors in Buffalo, and they do get a part. And I am happy when it's somebody that I know and not somebody from, like, you know, another state.
I mean, we're all. And
I just love
that's
it.
what we love.
Yeah, exactly. So
we're
just
all
keep
rooting for everyone.
exactly. So just keep doing it, keep grinding, keep progressing, keep taking classes, because it's really important to just work on your craft.
I think a lot, oftentimes, when I think about our industry that we're in, I think about artists like Andy Warhol and Basquiat, and I think about them because you hear a lot about, when they talk about those artists, they talk about the community that they would keep. Mm-hmm. They talk about how friendly and social they were. They would often go to parties. They did art together, whether it was experimental films or something. But you look at the success and the fame all of those people had who were in that circle, and it's more than just Andy Warhol and Basquiat. There were other famous people who were part of that group. My point is they kind of worked off of each other. It's about the company you keep, right?
Well, Ro's definitely a staple in this community, too. I run into you everywhere.
It's all about positive energy, too. Keep those vampires away. Don't let them suck your energy.
Thank you for your time today, Ro. Again, we hope that you're going to be a guest, for us at the 2025 Actors Expo. Again, we encourage actors to attend. We have all the resources there. Going to be some great seminars and everything. So I think that I want to transition into what our schedule is going to be, Kyle.
Yeah, sure.
I want to hear too.
Ro, thank you for coming.
I'm Kyle Mecca.
I'm Peter Johnson.
And I'm Harry Lipsitz.
And we're Casting Buffalo.
And we want to invite everyone to our 3rd annual Casting Buffalo Actors Expo, where we have our featured guest speaker, Tom Fontana.
Tom is an Emmy Award-winning writer and creator of the hit show Oz on HBO.
So join us on stage while we interview Tom, find out about his amazing career, especially with him being from Buffalo, New York.
Make sure you get your tickets today at castingbuffalo.com.
See you there.
So, Kyle, I think you should share with us our schedule of events for the 2025 Casting Buffalo Actors Expo.
Yeah, we have a lot going on, and we have different sections of our expo in which we have events happening. So we have our main stage area that will actually be in the back of the atrium. Has a lot more room with seats, and that's where a lot of our main events are going to happen. So on our main stage, starting at 12:15, is going to be us, Podcasting Buffalo, and we're going to be interacting with our crowd, making sure that we're getting direct questions and answers from the audience, and talk about more of what we have been talking about in a more just focused type group, and having some fun. And why not? Let's do a recast while we're there too.
Ooh,
so
nice.
It'll be a good one. And then after that, at 1:30 on that main stage, we have actress Charlene Amoya coming in.
Actress Charlene Amoya, she is so wonderful. I've worked with Charlene in several different movies, TV movies, but let me just tell you, she is a talented actress from Buffalo. She has worked with a lot of big heavy hitters, Will Smith, included. But I'm very proud to announce she's going to be one of our featured guest speakers for this year, to talk, more so about her experience and her journey, in the acting industry.
Yeah, she was on How I Met Your Mother. She was in Conjuring. Devil Made Me Do It. So she's been around.
Yeah.
And not only that, but she continues to work. Yeah, and she's from Buffalo. So we wanted to make sure that she's involved. At 3 o'clock, we have our big key speaker, and this one will be presented by William Mattar. This one is Tom Fontana, Buffalo boy.
Emmy winner.
Three-time.
Yes.
3-time.
Emmy Award winner, Peabody winner. He has done everything from St. Elsewhere to basically one of the reasons why HBO exists today by creating Oz.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest series of all time.
Yeah, it truly was. Oz was incredible.
He made HBO what it is today, and he's continued his journey through the years with Netflix's Borgia, and he just had a show on AMC as well. So he is an amazing writer, creator, showrunner.
And we got to add, from Buffalo.
From Buffalo boy.
All right, absolutely.
From here originally, and comes back every so often. I actually just worked on a short film of his
He
last
went to Buff
year.
State, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Went to Buffalo State.
And he is an incredible human being. So get to hear from a producer and he's huge about casting too.
Right.
He's huge about casting. So we really get to learn from someone who cares so much about writing these characters
Casting
and finding
process.
the right characters.
I'm sure you have a mental list, but do you have a list of just all the people that have come out of Buffalo and had some good success?
I think we know a lot of them, but
tattooed inside our head.
I was going to say, I think it's also like, this is why the Actors Expo has been so pivotal, because we also bring speakers that either are from Buffalo or has some type of ties to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that's really important to us.
it is.
It's extremely important to us. We don't want to sit there and get, Joe Schmo on the street or someone because hey, we can afford him.
Yeah. Well, you want
we want a Buffalo connection.
People that come from the same soil.
Yes.
Right?
Well, you want to be clear to people that there is a path forward, and these people did it. So you can show by example that people are doing stuff that's even bigger than what Buffalo is, and the way to do it is to go to the Actors Expo.
Absolutely. So again, keeping Buffalo's soil. At 5:15, we have a producers panel. On that producer panel is Mark Brazil. He is the showrunner creator of That 70s Show.
Wow.
So
Very
he
cool.
is from Dunkirk, New York originally.
That's wild.
Ended up getting a job writing on In Living Color.
Yeah.
Was a producer and writer on Third Rock from the Sun, and then was the showrunner and creator of That 70s Show based off of his life from Dunkirk.
Did Living Color launch the Wayans brothers
Wayans
and
brothers.
also Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Did it launch
Absolutely.
both of
Absolutely.
those?
Yep.
So
Very
Empires?
pivotal career.
get to hear from a writer of all that stuff and talk about creating characters. Every single one of those shows I mentioned are so rich in
Oh, yeah.
characters. So to talk about casting for characters, like to have him here will be absolutely incredible. So that is our main stage. We also have different areas in which we have like workshops going on as well. With that, we have a ton of industry workshops presented by Film Neighbor Network. Mm-hmm. They are a non-for-profit organization that want to make sure that people who either can't afford or just don't have the opportunities to learn how to be in film or make films get a chance to do it. and they are running 4 workshops throughout the day. Starting at 12:30, we have a locations department workshop. You get to learn how to work on locations.
And
Very
those
cool.
are free workshops.
These are
right?
all free
These are all
workshops.
free
The
workshops.
panels before on the main stage are free. These
all
workshops are
included with the
Well, these
admission.
particular ones,
Yeah,
especially
these-
the ones that are presented by Film Neighbor Network, that are primarily crew driven, right?
Yes.
And that's one we want to add. These are crew driven workshops. So if you are out there and you are interested in working on behind the scenes, you want to take some free workshops to learn about that. This is the place to be.
And for every single one, you're going to learn deeply about the department, but also like how do you get your step in the door? Or like say you are an actor or you're someone trying to change careers, or you're a young filmmaker or a filmmaker who just wants to see what, the Buffalo film community is all about. You get to take these workshops and be like, okay, well, I never thought I would actually be like locations could be a place for me. Right. A lot of people think that, oh, I got to be a writer or director. There are so many more pivotal positions.
Look
on
at the
set.
look at the film credits on a major movie. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Thousands.
Well,
Thousands of different roles.
And the 48 is a great place to do that too, because you can have a team and you can all try out different roles, and then the next year you can change it up, and the next year you can change it up and go from there.
I was going to say, there's a lot of people out there that are acting that will also do support roles on these films. And there's a lot of people that are doing support roles on these films that also act. So people are out there. I mean, we just did this audition, and I'd say a third of the people would say, I can help with crew if you need it to.
Yep.
And they're there to help.
Because you're putting yourself where you need to be. So they're going to have a locations department workshop, which is going to be great. Get to learn about, how do you scout locations? How do you choose locations? And like when it comes to on set, how do you manage them and go from there? Then at 1:45, we have a grip and electric workshop.
Big.
Yes. So you get to learn about 2 different departments.
Right.
On how you light things and how you shape the light and how you work side by side. And you get to learn a little bit more about equipment and what a gaffer is and what a key grip does, what a best boy on each side is, and get into more detail of like, if I wanted to get into gripping or electric, like how do I do that?
Right.
So they're focused on that. At 4:30, we get into camera department.
Hey.
Huge pivotal role, right?
A lot
Cameras
of
are
people's
shooting
favorite,
us
too.
right now, right?
Well, let me just say this, and I think that's also pivotal to a lot of indie people that's out there as well, right? Like, it's this department. What you're going to learn is filmmaking is more than just getting a camera and getting out there, right? You're going to learn the technicalities of what it takes to shoot a specific scene. You know what I'm saying?
Camera department is just that. A lot of things, small local indie, you got a guy with a camera, but camera department, there's many people working on this, and it's not just, hey, here's me and my camera.
Yeah, and that's the thing, learning about, what does a cinematographer or a director of photography do? How do they create that vision? And then you have camera ops who will control the cam, and you might have B cam, C cam that are all different camera ops. You have a first AC who's your focus puller. You get to learn about that. You learn about what a second AC does, second assistant camera.
Right.
Slating and making sure that, they're taking down camera information that'll go to,
editors.
The editors.
Yeah.
And then you also have like
DIT
and loaders and camera PAs and how you can get in on that ground floor. So we'll learn about the camera department and the importance of that. And then we have at 5:45 our art department workshop. That one's going to be a lot of fun, I think, because you get to see how do you production design? How do you art direct? How do you be a set dresser? Right. How do you do prop mastery? How do you create everything that visually...
I think what's amazing about, especially the art department in themselves, is that the art department also consists of a lot of artists themselves, right? When the art department comes in and they're doing set dressing, these are artists. These are people that know how to visually make the scene appealing, to the camera, to the directors, for the time period, all of those things. So I think that I'm excited about that because, it's other artistic people that are right there teaching you, how to dress a set.
Absolutely. In our other classroom, moving on to that one, this one actually is an event package, an exclusive event package where you can get with a general admission. And this is a production assistant certification course that we're going to put on.
So for an added cost for this one, you can partake in this course.
Exactly. It's a 2.5-hour course. It is going to be ran by Randy Langdon and Ty Walker. They are DGA eligible production assistants. Randy is actually talk about like wanting to get involved as an actor. Randy, amazing actress, kind of came up in that world.
Yeah.
And then turned around and for when the film Bashir came in and said, I want to try to be a production assistant.
Yeah.
And she interviewed, she got the role, and went to New York, and boom, was key PA for Dickinson and a first team PA for this. And then A Quiet Place 2 came in. She came in and did background PA and then shifted over to the stunt world and has been stunts for Amy Adams and a ton of other different people within that world. So talk about trying to, as an actress, throwing yourself into that. She's the one teaching the course with Ty Walker, who's another amazing production assistant who's went to New York and back.
Absolutely.
And learning from them. And you get a certification out of it from Casting Buffalo and from Buffalo Camera.
Absolutely. And let me just tell you, that certification doesn't guarantee you anything, but what that does is that it does carry some credibility, right?
Yes.
So this is something that you can put on your resume. You've taken this workshop, you've gotten this certification, and not only that, you're there to network yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So like one door leads to another, and this is an official certification that because it's our company, we're giving our stamp of approval saying, hey, we certify this course and we want you to go to that next level.
Absolutely. Like us and Buffalo Camera are two reputable organizations within Buffalo that are turn around and say, when we get the phone calls, they sometimes ask us for things.
Yeah.
I'm also a non-union assistant director. I know every single assistant director in Buffalo, and they're always looking for people. And the more movies come in, the more we have to staff up. So knowing that you can come take a 2.5-hour crash course that is going to teach you about hierarchy, walkie, talkie stuff, walkie lingo, language, how that works, expectations of your first day, expectations how you can keep getting a job is huge. And after that, you pass that, get that certification, and we are going to make sure we cycle all those names out to the local industry leaders that would hire you.
And another point to reinforce what you just said, I think, not for nothing, but given the industry and the department we specialize in, we get the first phone calls a lot of times too in this area.
And locations.
Once locations, then they're coming to casting. But then it's also a thing where, especially given who the producer is, who the director is, we give our recommendations.
Yes.
Right? We give our recommendations. Who do we think would be good? So, it's advantageous, for people.
It's about the networking, right? So keep top of mind.
Well, it also sounds like a fast track way to get on your radar and to be seen.
Well, anyone's radar, especially if you're there too. And like I said, we all talk, we all network all the time. So, I mean, keep top of mind and hopefully something will happen. And, you have a very, very good attitude of like wanting to make things happen. Do it in the course because Randy and Ty hire people.
They hire people, right? Absolutely.
So that is happening in our other classroom, and that is starting at 12:30 until 3 o'clock. It's a 2.5-hour course. So get ready to get set. There is a test at the back end that you have to take in order to get that certification, but you'll make it happen. Then also in that classroom at 4:15, we're going to have an independent producer course ran by Gregory Lamberson.
Yes. Greg has had a long history of producing high-quality independent films.
Slime City Massacre.
Yeah. Actually, I was in one of them, Guns of Eden, as well. I got a chance to work with Greg. But Greg is also just not only a great writer and director, but he knows the ins and outs of how to produce, how to raise money. And again, we're looking at that from the indie standpoint, right? Like
he's a member of the Producers Guild.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
he's one of the only members of the Producers Guild that's within this area. Yep. So he's more than qualified to do that. But, you get a lot of people that are interested in making their own movies, but they don't know how to do it. That's what this course is going to be.
Well, and a part of it is like sometimes you're waiting for that role, but what if you go out there and you get it yourself? You write something for yourself to produce and make, and here's some steps, and learn how to independently produce your own things.
Right. That's we were talking about actors doing production assistant and support roles like that. I've also seen through the 40 Hour Film Project so many people migrate from acting into directing and producing their own things, and you'll hear actors say, don't wait around. Make it yourself if you have the opportunity to. And
Gregory is a huge asset that could help give you guidance on how to do that and get distribution and et cetera. So we'll having him there, I think, is going to be great benefit for a lot of actors and crew members.
Absolutely. What
do you do? A lot of the people who got starts, especially like in LA, is actors or crew members who might just be I'm a additional grip on the day, or I'm an AC, but they're on that camera team while they're shooting, and they've turned around and said, hey, can I borrow the camera this weekend? I want to go make a short film. And that's how they made their short film and got started. So, I mean, that's keeping within that community. That's things you can do. All right, 6 o'clock, we also have an audition reel course that's going to be taken out. Again, the independent producer course and the audition reel course, they're both free of charge. They are part of the ticket. And this one is ran by Tony Grande of Tony Video.
The actor's tailor.
He is the actor's tailor. Yeah. He's going to tell you how to tailor your reel so this way people like us, casting directors and directors, will see that flash and know that we want to hire you.
I think Tony's class is very integral as well, because there's a lot of actors that don't know what goes into a self-taped audition. Yeah. If you don't know how to do one, you don't know the choices and things of that sort. Tony has his drive-through service, which is essentially putting actors on tape, at a very rapid pace. But it's also the fundamentals of what goes into a good self-tape. So I recommend all the actors to make sure that they at least take this seminar, find out the do's and the don'ts, from someone that tapes people every day.
And he's going to really emphasize reels, because that's the new ask that we've been getting a lot.
Absolutely.
Which is like a lot of these commercials will come in and sit there and say, like, just send us the reels.
Well, they'll say, what, we want headshots and reels.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you better have one.
Absolutely.
So that is taking care of that classroom. We also have a showcase floor. Right in front, as soon as you walk in, you're going to see all our vendors, and then you're going to have a showcase floor. On that showcase floor, we have two things going on. At 1 o'clock, we have Robin's stunt team coming back to do another stunt showcase. We'll learn about, everything that has to go into stunts, and if you were interested in stunts, but like how they can hide it for camera.
Yeah.
And beyond there with like safety measures and with armory and beyond that. And then they also encore at 4:30. So if you missed it the first time, you can do it again.
And I got to add that, Greg Robbins is one of the area's leading stunt coordinators, and he has his own stunt team. He offers workshops that are independent in order to recruit other stunt actors. So come see what these stunt actors do. A lot of people, they want to get into acting, but acting is also using your physical body, as well. It's not just facial expressions. It's not always line delivery. It's also how to use your body. And that's what Greg does the best. He shows actors how to use their body effectively on camera.
And he's also going to be opening a stunt school soon. So he needs to gain more people, because when these movies come in, sometimes they got to be really specific. They got to make sure that they match almost like a stand-in or a body double. So they need to make sure people are trained and know what they're doing. So if this is something that interests you, go to Robin's table and get signed up for that stunt school as well.
So Kyle, aside from all of that you just mentioned, and you sort of already alluded to this, but we have, aside from all of that, plenty of vendors and exhibitors who are going to be accessible throughout the whole event, right?
Correct. So on our main floor in front of the showcase, we're going to have a ton of vendors, dozens that are going to be there, who have different aspects that'll help you, kind of further your career. Resources that you can use. We're also going to have like local schools and collegiate
absolutely.
programs.
We have all the theaters. Absolutely.
Some of the area unions will be present.
Correct. IATSE and the area unions beyond that will also be present. So this way, go take one of those workshops, learn about G&E, walk over to 52 and talk, hey, how do I get in the union and take my next step? So a ton of different resources to go on there that'll be constantly going through this entire time. So in between attending these classes and picking and choosing what you want, they will be there all day to provide you with as much information as possible.
Your vendor table array is the most awesome film variety I've ever seen in one place. So you get all the people there, and there's so many opportunities to meet all these different companies, and I have not seen anything like it at anything in Buffalo beyond this event.
We really appreciate it. And this year we're going to keep growing it.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that this is truly a value-added event.
Yeah.
It will continue to be one as long as we do this.
Yeah, absolutely. On that showcase floor, we also have another thing going on at 2:15. We have what's called the Craft of Choice with Bob Bozak. And if you know Bob Bozak, he is an incredible actor in our area who keeps getting work and booking work because he knows how to make the choice that no one else will ever choose. And he's going to do a quick seminar of just why improv in his life is so important, why he's so good at making choices, and why you should get used to making those bold choices.
Bob is really, really someone that for me as an actor, I've known him for several years. We've worked together on numerous occasions, and Bob just loves the craft. He's someone that absolutely loves it. He doesn't, he takes jobs, whether it's not paying or if they're paying a lot. Bob will actually, because he appreciates the work. So to see Bob on the main stage getting to do improv, which he has studied literally from internationally in Canada. Bob has done a lot of different Second City. Right. Yeah. In Canada, Bob is extremely trained on that. So to see him doing improv live, I think that a lot of actors are going to benefit to see his range of choices.
And
live.
What he likes to do, and we've discussed how he wants to plan to do this Craft of Choice, is pulling people out of the audience, talking to people, okay, here's a role. Now try it like this in a totally different way. He was talking about one of the classes he's done in the past where he's like, okay, I want you to play a cop. Great. You got it automatically in your head how you're going to do it. All right. Now play it as if you're a dinosaur. And it automatically changes your intentions and how you would approach that.
Yeah.
So he's going to really dive in that seminar of what if you look at it this way and how we can get you to book. Later that day, we have our studio tours returning.
Yes.
To Great Point Studio.
Awesome.
Great Point Studios has been gracious enough to loan us their studio for the day. So for anyone that hasn't seen what a real sound stage looks like, this is their opportunity to get a tour of the state-of-the-art soundstage that's located right across the street from Rich's. There will be tours that will be given by producer Mac Cappuccino,
yes,
who's produced several movies in the area, and actually is producing a film right now with the Great American Family Channel. So you'll get a chance to see a live set as well. You're not going to be able to touch it. You're going to be able to sit down on it, do nothing of that, but you just to view it, right? And to view the soundstage and to view what Niagara Studios is bringing to the area.
It's an incredible space. I went to the grand opening.
Oh, yeah.
And to see that existing in Buffalo blew my mind. And not just the beautiful sound stages, but the other support that they have for hair and makeup room is like a top-end salon. It's gorgeous.
You don't have to, the way they have this studio set up is that you don't really have to leave the facility. For anything. They have dressing rooms, star dressing rooms with like patios. It's really, really nice over there. But, again, they've been gracious enough to allow us to access for the studio for the day and to bring the general public in. So, it's for us to see, but it's also for you to see and for you to be inspired by.
Absolutely. Finally, our last add-on for this for a special price is, hey, need that headshot updated? Or you never had one before, guess what? We have drive-through headshots in which they're 10-minute sessions, but guess what? You're going to get about at least 5 very, very professional professionally edited and professionally shot headshots on the day. And that's by Andrew Greisman Photography and Gadabout Photography. So they'll be there. Sign up ahead of time, though, because those spots
that'll fill up
really fast.
Yeah, that'll fill
They're
up.
very affordable.
They're already going, aren't they?
Yeah, right off the bat, day one, they're going.
right.
So make sure that you stop and get that. I'm hoping that we'll even be able to provide it where you can walk up and do it, because I think these are going to go super fast.
And for actors, especially new actors that attend this seminar, one of the things that that most people should remember, especially when getting into this industry, that there are some things that don't change, and having a good headshot will never change, right? That's something that is a necessity. You absolutely need it. It's not something that should be taken lightly, because, as casting directors, we know the difference between good headshots and bad headshots. So while you're there, make the investment in yourself and get a quality headshot.
Absolutely. Other things on that day is we're going to have food trucks available throughout the day, available outside in the parking lot. If you're hungry, need something to drink, go out there. But this is a wall-to-wall event that's going from 12 to 7 o'clock. There is a bunch of stuff happening all over the place, so make sure you plan your day accordingly and make the most out of it.
You got to look at that schedule and plan what you're going to do, because there's so much good stuff.
Yeah, it's important for us to get this schedule out as fast as we can. So we're launching it so it's out there, and then to hear us talk about it a little bit more so you can get some insight of what to expect.
It's a fantastic event, and if you want one more example of great networking, I'm pretty sure that's how this relationship was solidified.
Absolutely.
So it's putting people together in a wonderful way, and great stuff's happening because of it. It's a great event.
All right. We have the Casting Buffalo Actors Expo coming out on August 23rd. Tickets are on sale now at castingbuffalo.com. Don't wait. Tickets are going to go fast. It's from 12 to 7. We can't wait to see you there. All right. That's a wrap.
I love you, Buffalo.